In the depths of the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a fierce rivalry that extended beyond the realms of politics and ideology. The competition for supremacy reached new heights as both superpowers set their sights on conquering the final frontier, space. This is the story of the Cold War space race, a race that captured the imagination of the world. It all began on October 4, 1957, when the Soviet Union launched a small satellite called Sputnik into orbit. With this historic feat, the Soviets achieved the first ever human-made object in space, sending shockwaves throughout the United States. Sputnik's launch ignited a sense of urgency and national pride in the United States. The race for space had begun, and the Americans were determined to catch up. In response to the Soviet success, President Dwight D. Eisenhower established the National Aeronautics and Space Administration in 1958. Under NASA's guidance, the United States embarked on an ambitious program to develop advanced rockets and spacecraft. Then, on May 25, 1961, President John F. Kennedy made a bold proclamation: America would send a man to the moon and bring him back safely before the end of the decade. The Apollo program was born, symbolizing American determination and technological prowess. The race to the moon was on. On December 21, 1968, Apollo 8 became the first manned spacecraft to orbit the moon. Astronauts Frank Borman, Jim Lovell, and Bill Anders captured the iconic Earthrise photo, revealing our planet in a way never seen before. And then, on July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 lifted off from Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins on board. 4 days later, on July 20, 1969, Neil Armstrong took that historic step onto the lunar surface, uttering those unforgettable words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." The world watched in awe as Apollo 11 fulfilled President Kennedy's promise, marking a tremendous achievement for humankind. The United States had won the race to the moon. But the space race did not end there. The Soviet Union continued its lunar missions with the lunar program, successfully landing unmanned rovers on the moon's surface. In the following decades, the space race transformed into international cooperation, with the United States and the Soviet Union engaging in joint missions like the Apollo-Soyuz test project.